Bob?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Right. It is.
The 15th.
It is Wednesday, October 15th, 7:03 p.m. Board of Finance for the town of Madison is now in session. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In a motion to approve the minutes of the September 17th. Thank you, Matt. Second by John. Discussion or amendments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions?
Oh, I see.
You don't have to.
I'm living here.
You can read the minutes. Motion has carried. Well, I'm gonna gavel somebody out of order so many times that I can tell. Yeah, here's comments, no, I don't say much, but there is one person we know that will not, this is her last official meeting. Obviously, I'm talking about Katie. Katie, the dedication, the commitment you're giving to the residents of Madison, between the Board of Ed, the Board of Finance and everything else is deeply appreciated. We really do appreciate the time that you commit, the volunteer hours, everything you've done. I will also say, you were one of the most genuine people I've ever met. It's very important. You've also brought a lot of the levity for me personally sitting next to you, and I do appreciate that. But most importantly for me is our friendship. So I want to say thank you. We did get you a few flowers and I'll bring those over, but the Board of Finance, we want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Doesn't mean you can do whatever you
You
want. this
especially,
meeting.
John, yeah, I know you had a big part in this. No, seriously, thank you. This is a wonderful board to be a part of. I loved my time on the Board of Education
I know you do with the Board of Finance.
as well. And this wraps up 10 years of service for me, and it's time for me to, as an empty nester, start to move on. But you guys have a lot to be proud of. You have an amazing team that works really well and communicates really well together. I've no doubt that will continue for a long time in the future. And thank you for teaching me and answering my questions, even though they're sometimes elementary, but I appreciate you. And Stacey and Kristen, thank you for your patience, for welcoming me into your office time and time again to explain things. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for Kate too.
So we're at finance member comments. Well, I'll start with you this time up in the screen, then John will work our way down that.
Well, I just want to say, Katie, it's been wonderful to serve with you. Thank you so much for your commitment to the Board of Finance. It's great to work on the same team together. And I know that you will still be involved, even though you're not maybe not on the Board of Finance, but you will definitely be around. I just want to thank you so much for all your support you've given to this committee. And looking forward to, having a great next couple of years myself. So thank you again for your commitment to our town and all that you've done. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. John?
Well, I had two things, but I guess now I have three things. I didn't realize. Oh, no, I will start with Katie. Thank you for your service. Always respectful, always, think you always have the best interest in the town. We might not always agree, but it's always respectful and I appreciate it. So thank you for your service. Number two, as the liaison to the Beach and Rec, commission, just kind of a heads up of a heads up. I've been attending all the meetings, and as you probably already know, there's a consultant hired, there's a master plan that's being developed. I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but this thing is really getting off the ground, and second week in November will be the first quote open house. And that's going to give an opportunity for the public to come out and let them know what they think is important to the surf club. And I should say, this is not going to be just about the surf club building, whatever that may end up being. This is going to be about fields. It's going to be about perhaps trails. It's going to be about traffic flow redesign. paving or unpaving. I mean, this is going to be huge. And obviously, there's no dollars thrown around yet. That'll be 2026. But this is an opportunity for people to start letting the town know what they want. So nobody is going to be blindsided by this happening and having input into the process. So Neck River, second week in November, hasn't been confirmed yet. And then in December, we'll be at the senior center. And they're going to have maps and everything. I mean, the property is pretty extensive over there. 2 exits perhaps coming out of the field on Route 1. So December will be the senior center, and perhaps there will be a 3rd session as well. But I think as Board of Finance members, obviously, the back of our mind, we're thinking, as we're looking at fund balance, that's going to be a whatever this project or projects end up being, it's going to be significant to the town. So just wanted to give an update on that.
Thanks.
This kind of leads into my 3rd point. I was approached by some residents, taxpayers, asking about capital projects. How do we get what was originally budgeted for a project? What was a final budget? What were the amendments? What was actually spent on those projects? What were the grants that were promised for those individual projects? What was actually received for grants for those actual projects? So I know those are questions we often have, but as a resident and taxpayer, how do I get that information? And I did briefly talk to the finance department about that. It appears that most of that information might already be available, and I'm not suggesting that we create some unnecessary work, but perhaps if we have a roadmap as to how to get that information, I think it would go a long way towards satisfying what I think is a reasonable request by taxpayers and the public. So I just wanted to throw that out there. We might hear in public citizen comment, maybe some more detail on that. And perhaps no expectations that this will be settled tonight, but it gets the discussion going to get that information out there if we can, or how we can. I think we do have that responsibility.
Thank you, Tom.
So I don't know if we want to comment on that or wait.
I think we're going to wait, but I think those are fair points. I mean, what a project cost, what the grants were, what the offset was, if we had to borrow money, we'll go down the list. I don't think there's anything wrong. We'll go through it. It's fair and reasonable. I'm sure Stacey has a pretty good handle on that.
Yep.
Just want to go through the other.
Yep.
Jude?
Well, the first thing I'll say is we're gonna miss you so much, Katie. Tonight. I can't believe.
Come on.
Well, maybe the card won't, but I know I will. And going back to your days as a member of the Board of Education, and then as the chair of the Board of Education, which is an incredible position to hold. You did it flawlessly then, and you just came onto the Board of Finance and brought your work ethic with you. I mean, every meeting you come, usually except for maybe tonight.
Good night.
You come so prepared, you have your questions, you want to understand everything that's before you, as we all should. You always ask the questions, and I'm gonna miss that part. And I'm gonna miss sitting next to you as well. But the hours and hours you've volunteered for this town have been appreciated. I want you to know that. And it's a gap that we're gonna find hard to fill. But thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you for teaching.
Want to say anything else?
Just very quickly on the Madison Youth and Family Services, attended a meeting there last night. And I believe that Scott is going to come before us and have a meeting here to talk with us about the new, the licensed social worker that they have within the police department now, what her role has been, what the numbers they have so far to talk about her productivity, the police reaction and to her, which has been incredibly positive. And I look forward to Scott coming and talking to us about that. I think he's going to be setting that up for hopefully next month.
Great, thank you. Katie, you want to say?
Just so our chair knows that, we'll need people. I was on CIP, so,
I know.
okay.
You
John,
watch every
I
Board of
think you would be
Selectmen
great on the CIP, but we're also gonna need a new
You know,
liaison.
she just stepped in his chair right there. Just kidding.
We, our liaison for CIP, will be a tremendous loss because, Laura Downs was an amazing asset, and provided a lot of, even though our public members are non-voting, she asked great questions and was a great asset to have. So and library is gonna need a liaison.
And I know you pretty much watch every Board of Selectmen meeting.
Yeah, I was glad he mentioned this. Yes, that was big discussion. Yes, I'm on one. I still watch them all. Watched Board of Red last.
So, but we need the liaison for CIP and like.
Mhm.
Matt, you want to say?
Yeah, so again, first, as everyone else, thank you. Katie. You were so welcoming when we came on for John and I. And you and Jean kind of set us up, so I appreciate that. And one of the things I appreciate about you is that you speak your mind and you have pushed back appropriately on quite a few, no matter what the politics are and things like that. I've always appreciated that. So thanks. Three other things. First, EDC, so Economic Development Commission. The liaison, they did not have their meeting this past week. They didn't make the FOIA deadline for their agenda, which is why we didn't have it. Second thing, I think going off of John with the CIP and the capital improvements that we have, I think also the public needs to know how those are set up. When something is ideated and it goes on to CIP, they have a cost estimate at that point, knowing full well that that won't go online. And because years go by, the costs inflate. And I think that's something that we've heard from Ben, that we need to change. But that's something else that goes into, that opaqueness goes into it. So I think that has to go out as well too. And the social worker, so I did hear about the social worker, so Jude, we had some deliberations originally because that position was funded with grant money. A large part of it, I think it was 180,000 over 2 years. And we were very clear with Chief Drum, I think it was Scott, we want to see data for the success of that. It sounds like it's been very successful, but quantifiably, what are the KPIs of that position? Because now what's going to be presented is if it goes onto the town budget.
Thank you, Matt. John?
Well, I'd also like to add my thanks to Katie. When I first met, when I was on the library board, she was liaison, so that was a very welcome introduction. I have to say that she's an extraordinary collection of intelligence, good humor, and kindness, and certainly provides a superb model for public service. So thank you, Katie. Miss you. But I hope it's like Hotel California. You may check out, but you can never leave. Thanks very much. The kindness to me personally, for all your service. And I don't have the reports on.
All right, John.
Not a liaison. Yeah.
You will be. You will be. Just a couple quick things on the wrap up. Time just sneaks up on you sometimes. I couldn't believe that this obviously could be your last official meeting. This week also something special going forward. The other thing we were trying to do is have some sort of a workshop. As I said, time stuck up on me. Couldn't see the coordinate, but we will. But now I'm thinking there's definitely going to be at least one new member, so maybe we should wait until next month to coordinate that. It doesn't make sense to have it now, and then we probably have to have it again. Here we do members. So I just want to let you know it's not that I forgot. We're going to have to coordinate our schedules a little bit better, but I think now it just makes all the sense just to wait until next month. As far as the CIP and it's, now you brought up the estimates, and I think you all have an issue there with a number of things that happen, the estimates, how they put them in the plans, and how we should, whether that's how it starts, but how we modify that with real numbers going forward, which I think that's important. I'm gonna, talk to Stacy. We'll have something for the next, next meeting where she has a breakdown. I think it's probably a little unrealistic to have that ready tonight. But we'll go through it, it's the offsets of the grants and everything else, the projects that we've done. But you are the financial piece of this, right? She doesn't do the estimates. She doesn't do that. She's like, here's our budget. Here's the numbers that came in. It's 10 million. Here's the grants we received. Here's the bills were paid. There's 9 million expenses, 1 million. You still count as expense, but it goes back to, the CIP or capital non-return, wherever we go. So those are the type of things that I think the public and us, everybody should be cognizant of and allowed to see. And John, you're probably right. It's probably a little bit of a roadmap how to get there. So thank you. First selectman, Peggy was going to come. I told her not to. I said there was a light agenda, so I told her to take the night off. Citizens' comments, anybody from the public would like to speak? Second time. Sir, name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Andy Valveroso, Horse Pond Road.
Go ahead.
I've just been, sitting back watching everything that's transpired this year.
Right.
Sorry to see you leave. Is that a couple things that are very concerning to me. As a Board of Finance, you guys are basically the checkbook of the administration. And I'm thinking it may have to be reimagined, that when a payment comes before you to approve something, is there any investigative things that you do to make sure that the payment is right and taxpayer money should be spent on that? Case in point, one of them is the academy. Okay, there was a tremendous waste of money. Like $1.5 million that was basically wasted. Part of it, I know it was the 2020 referendum and you were following those guidelines, but we need to have some type of a pushback mechanism. Because you're basically representing the citizens of Madison, right? Not the administration. And if what's happening here, if it's not correct, what's going on with the academy and all that waste of money, we need to have a mechanism in there that's gonna stop this. I blew the whistle and screamed from high heaven right from the beginning. Actually, right when I started the petition, I knew it was gonna be $30 million. Everybody said, no. But guess what the real figure was? 2 years later, $30 million. If people had gotten the right people in place to push back against the 15.9, which I thought was a bait and switch, the town would have saved a lot of money. And I won't go on about that. I'm still investigating some stuff. But the other thing is Garvin Point. You guys approved the payments for that, I assume, right? That the money goes out to the contractors there. Matt, I bet with Jen, we walked it. I was a licensed building inspector by the state of Connecticut. I did a lot of undercover investigative work. What I see, okay, and because there's so many agencies involved in the final inspection of that project, which is the DEP, our local building inspector, Army Corps of Engineers, and I'm trying to think of the other one. I know there's 4. OSHA. Okay, I tried to get some information from OSHA, but OSHA's, the Bridgeport office shut down because of the shutdown of the government. But I am seeing from the research I've been doing is that there's some major code violations there. And I think you need to dig in a little bit deeper with the people like the building inspector, so on and so forth, to make sure that they actually looked, make sure OSHA actually looked, make sure the state of Connecticut actually looked, make sure DEP actually looked and signed off on this. Okay, I know there were grants involved, but you have a major safety violation there. And somebody's gonna get hurt, a child is gonna get hurt. The biggest culprit, well, there's a few actually, is a sidewalk should not be put up against a seawall. Okay? For one reason is you got hydraulic pressure, it pushes against the seawall, the water goes sideways and undermines the whole decking process, all the substrate. Number 2, there's no weaving holes. in that seawall. So the water has nowhere to go. Okay, they're worried about getting water in, but what about the water that's collecting on land that's pushing against that wall? The third one is the rise top to the top of that seawall is only 12 inches. A child can get up on top of there. Sorry, folks, the word no diving is not gonna protect a 5-year-old kid. Okay, it's gonna dive into rocks. All right, there should be a fence there. There's a major liability to the town. And I think it should be addressed sooner than later before somebody gets hurt. Now, those are just a few of the things I found. I know behind the scenes when I screened Bloody Murder about 2 months ago, somebody went back there and replaced a bunch of the decking. Because the decking was all cracked. That decking should have been, done from, the fasteners, it should have been hidden fasteners from underneath. Not drilled through the top without pilot holes. That bunch of decking was cracked, and that's before the winter set in. When the winter sets in, water gets inside there and expands, ice, it crack even more. So somebody went there and replaced at least 18 boards. So I'm glad they did that, but by drilling it through the top, you've made access for water to enter that wood. That's why you should be using the fasteners from underneath. So people need to look at this. I know you have a construction manager, I know you have a building inspector. Are they being utilized before final checks are being paid out? Now, I don't care if the majority was Republican or Democrat or independent, the truth is the truth, and things like this should be, looked at. I mean, before checks go out, I mean, we've been spending a ton of money in this town, and we got the surf club coming up. I would love to say, little jobs like that, there's really no oversight from what I can see. I want to make a trip to the building inspector's office and try to pull some reports if he actually did an inspection there. He may not have, nobody may be fault him to do it, figuring the state was in charge, but you know how the state works, yeah? All these things should be handled sooner than later, but get a railing up there. I mean, go out there and walk it yourself. It's 12-inch rise, 2 feet wide. Little children can just crawl on there, step on there, walk along there, not realizing what's on the other side. An 8 to 10 foot drop into jagged rocks. Now, why do I have to see that? Nobody else seen it. This is what bothers me. Okay, we need to, I don't think you get somebody on your committee, on your board that can look at stuff like that before checks are out. Make sure that the right inspections were done, make sure the job was done adequately. Ben should be probably out there. He's the construction manager, right? Ben should be out there looking at this before it goes to you to pay it. You need to get somebody to sign off on this. I mean, it's simple. If this was a business, you'll be out of business. This town will be out of business. Oversight like this needs to be done. And a lawsuit against the town, now that I blew the whistle on this, is going to be immense if a child gets hurt or an adult. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, and thank you for your, certainly your input. Anybody else in the public would like to speak?
Yes,
Sir.
there's someone online too.
I'm gonna go here first, Gene, then we'll go online.
Jim Waltz, Jonathan's Landing. Like when Andy was talking about that, during the presentations, I asked that, when we don't have a railing there, is, essentially what I kind of needed. I don't think it would look good, but I asked the question and they said, oh, we looked into it. We shouldn't need it, but I don't see, I think he's right. I don't see. We didn't have one before, but we also didn't have a sidewalk there. So I don't know if that's the difference on it. Because it's essentially you have a deck. So anytime you have a step off the deck, even at your house, your front porch, anything above 2 steps, you gotta have a railing. So
30 inches.
yeah, so I'm not sure how, but that one there. And then the other question, like we were talking about the CIP stuff. So we're talking about that's to kind of plan for a longer term stuff. And even though things aren't in CIP, we know that they're going to be coming. So you have surf club, which I'm assuming is probably going to be in the cost range of school, probably, we're close to it. And then, at the facilities meeting, they were talking about, the superintendent was saying, 10 years, we're probably gonna need another new school. Memorial Town Hall, the other two buildings there, the septic, how do you, these things are there, but they're not on paper. How do you account and say like, well, how are we gauging where we're going to be? So 10 years from now, we're probably going to be into, whatever it is, $30-50 million into Surf Club. We're going to be halfway through paying for the new schools. And then we're also going to be having to maybe look at another school, that's, so like, is there a mechanism, or are we just looking at what's on paper and saying, okay, this is, the 5-year, 10-year plan? Surf Club really isn't in there. Like, if we say, okay, well, we can afford, we're at $100 million budget, if we're at 102 or 104, but then all of a sudden, we say, okay, well, we can afford to do this project, but not taking into account, that, Surf Club and Town Hall, the Memorial Town Hall, if it's a shared septic, if I remember right. So if they take out Academy and the septic as part of that demo, then the other two buildings need septic, 3 buildings, 2 or 3 there. So all of that's got to be, is there something that's done or, a plan that way?
This, I want to just so we're listening to everything you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't go back and forth.
Yeah.
We'll have to, just once you go through it, then we'll get your emails, the address, and someone will get back to you. I just
Okay.
want to know, it's not that we're not listening, not that but there isn't the banter back and forth for no reason.
Yeah.
Just so you understand.
Okay.
One more question.
I'm sorry, I gotta go to the person online first. Gene, I'm sorry, were you done? I don't mean.
Go ahead, Janet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
I hit unmute. Can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can't.
Yes, we clear.
Okay. So a couple of things. I was going to go into,
Name and address for the record, please.
oh, sorry, Janet Nicolini, 8 Madison Avenue, Madison, Connecticut.
Right.
So thinking about the Surf Club issue, what I would like to suggest or put forth is that no new unnecessary projects be approved. And I say unnecessary until we know what that Surf Club nut is going to be. Because that is looming, and the fact that it's just not in the CIP yet worries me. That there may be projects coming up such as artificial turf at Daniel Hand for a baseball field that are really not necessary, but because they're coming up piecemeal, they're just getting approved. So that's my one comment, and my wish is that this would not happen because it's not a necessary project until we know where we stand with that Surf Club project. Second thing is what John said before, there was an article about the school budget being under, the school being under budget by about $2 million. But we voted for an entire plan that included improvements for Polson and also demolition of Ryerson. And I know that people say that wasn't technically in the bonding, but we understood that it was when it was first presented to us. So what I would like to see is almost a worksheet of what was bonded, what was included in that bonding by line item for not only the new school, but Polson, and what has actually been spent on everything to do with the school renewal, not just the new school being under budget, because that's only one part of the puzzle. So I think when we have an article like that in the paper, the public says, oh, wow, we're under budget, but that's not the whole picture. And I would love to see a worksheet or a spreadsheet that has everything on there. So what's bonded, what we thought we were going to spend, what we have actually spent. And if we haven't spent it yet, what's the new projection for what's going to be spent? So that we can see where we stand on that entire project. And I would love for somebody to send me a link or give me a PDF of a worksheet that just simply has all that in one place. So I don't have to go trying to dig for it all around the website. So those are really my 2 comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet, for your input. Anybody else from the public would like to speak? I'm gonna get you, I promise, Andy. For a second time, anybody else? Go ahead.
As you know, I'm big on hopefully the town can start saving some money. And I would recommend that not to use so many consultants. Because that's proven with the academy and other projects, the consultants were either wrong or were not listened to by the administration. The amount of money that is spent on consultants is staggering. I mean, you can build houses, money that you pay these people. A lot of them is only for their own self-interest. And I used them for 40 years. 50-50, they were right or they were wrong. It's really bad. A little bit off the subject, Scott Murphy many times recommended, Andy, you need to be on a committee. So I applied for the facilities position. I think it can be beneficial to work with you guys and to give my expertise and save the town a ton of money. Because if something's doesn't smell right, I will tell you. And I think the town sorely needs me or Jim or somebody like us that is gonna watch out for the citizens of Madison. Because as of right now, it's not a good track record of what's been going on with the spending. I know some people aren't gonna like that comment and some people call me mean, but I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking the truth, and somebody has to. You need checks and balances, and you guys are the checks and balances. You guys gotta watch what's going on behind the scenes, because as the public, now I have a lot of people watching. When I first started on this campaign for 2.5 years, nobody said anything. Now everybody's paying attention. That's what's going on in Madison. So, and it's good. I mean, this is a democracy and it's our money and we should watch over what's going on. And we should hold the people that are accountable for the waste, accountable for the waste. I mean, it sickens me what was wasted with the academy school. I mean, that money could have been used for part of the demolition. Like I said before, I seen there was something wrong right from the get-go, but nobody in the administration wanted to listen to me. One thing that was very concerning is when an academy building committee member said that whatever, this is at a meeting, recorded, said whatever the academy project runs short, I will personally take it out of the CIP. I didn't hear any pushback against that person. We sent letters to Peggy Lyons about it. Nobody pushed back on that comment. And that comment should not be tolerated. That person should be removed from any committee, especially the CIP, for making a comment like that. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Anybody else wants, to get to the public? You can speak anytime. Anybody from the public would like to speak? Second time? Third time, public information session's closed. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just a few things. Just to let you know, we don't approve each payment that comes, the checkbook. We don't obviously sign the check. We approve the budget. So I just want to make that clear.
Explain to these gentlemen, we don't go back and forth and
No. I'm just making that.
I understand all that.
But I would like what I said earlier addressed, and whether it's tonight or some other time, where the finance department can say, this is the information that the public wants. This is how you get it. For each individual project. So if somebody wants to look at a project, I want that answered. And again, I wasn't necessarily expecting this done tonight, but to do that. And I think the administration has to address, and I hope they address concerns of workmanship. And that's again, I'm not an engineer. So I just want to make that clear.
And I did mention that. I opened with that before. Thank you. And I'm sorry, we just don't.
No, I understand.
Okay, thank you. John's comments aside, we're friends, but it's all right.
But it's good dialogue for everybody to talk and
Yeah, but
It's
There's
meeting.
reasons why.
there's not only legal reasons, but I've seen it where it just gets out of control of the meeting. And
Oh, sure, I understand.
That's just the policy. I'm gonna honor it. And-
Yeah.
Okay, and we will get back to
I think
it. I agree with-
Yeah.
Listen, what I do right now is not right.
one more quick question. During the budget,
Yeah.
do you have the opportunity to say no?
Yeah.
Do you ever say no?
Yes, of course.
Okay, okay.
All right, listen, and even what I just did now is wrong, so I'm done.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry, by our own rules, you know, we gotta follow. I have no problem with the discussion after.
One other quick question. One sentence. Maybe we should look at doing like a monthly or quarterly Q&A session.
Correct.
That's fine. That's good.
You know, like I bring that up and nobody wants to move forward with it, so.
Okay, thanks, Jim. I know you guys think I'm being difficult, it's just how it is.
No, I know.
All right, new business. Item 7, discuss take action to accept a grant of $14,918.30 from the Secretary of State to assist in implementation of early voting, which was approved by the Board of Selectmen on September 22nd, 25. Can I get that?
So moved.
Thank you, Kate. Can I get a second? Thank you. Discussion.
Thank you. When we get money.
All those, something we have to do.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Just for discussion, you know, it's the due diligence. I mean, this money is definitely needed.
Yeah.
Because it is expensive to put on the early voting.
Yeah. Any other discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye, or raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? That motion carries. So the budget process, including CIP for fiscal 27, we go through it, we have issues there. You can't say anything now, you're not here, so.
I'm excited.
I just want you to look at for the budget workshops, Board of Finance meeting, and for the budget process for the next week. Just look at it, all right? Because we have other people coming in that we'll vote out for the next. You want it?
No.
No?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Like I said, we are definitely going to have new members. Go ahead. Yes, you want to say something?
Yeah, I know that CIP doesn't kick off until after the election. So it'll be a little condensed, which is hard. And I know that at every public hearing at the beginning of CIP, there is a public hearing to go through the process and the 10-year plan and all of that. So my suggestion would be to maybe at that public hearing, really publicize that it's gonna be a CIP 101. Even though we do it every year. And a lot of the questions that the public have are included in that presentation. However, we rarely get people to come, but I think if you bill it as a CIP course or process or, yeah, and talk about how they do escalate costs and through the years and things like that, that it would be helpful. Because the surf club isn't.
Yes.
That's it. I'll come if you do.
There you go.
So public liaison.
No. That's a good idea. Shush. Yeah.
Now I know.
So we are gonna have to appoint a liaison to the CIP, and I know some of these members may or may not, I'm hoping everybody's status is still on, so I guess I'll wait until after the election. I don't think there's any other choice there, Stacy. The same thing, I mean, it's not fair to vote on the schedule, it changed also. Let's start just in this group. Anybody have an issue with Wednesday nights?
No.
No.
All right. So I think we'll keep the meetings at that night, but we'll go through that. Okay, review of the financials. Chris Fillmore,
I know.
go ahead. I saw the fund balance, we've had discussions about the undesignated fund balance. You can hear from, we said it for a long time. It's not just, obviously, I know Surf Boat was brought up a lot, but there's a lot of other things. So to spend that money, just to spend the money, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And what I said earlier is to postpone the workshop and we're going to have it until after, until the next meeting, so the new members could actually be part. So I don't know if there's any comments on the financials or if there's any fund balance. I know it's in front of us.
I just wanted to, John, say again, I've said this before, but I just, for my own edification mostly, and if people look at this from the public, the projected fund balance that we'll be at for fiscal year ending 2026 shows a starting number of 24.1 million. And when you work through the numbers, it ends up as a revised balance of 6.7, but correct me if I'm wrong, Kent, this is where, but that 6.7 does not include the 10% contingency. So we really should add that back to make it look apples to apples. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, when you start off with the,
It's
the
down
beginning,
here.
It's the mouth is
It's here.
It's restricted.
yeah, it's down below it, but it comes off, and I'm saying it's included in the beginning number from the previous year. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other comments? Second wave of citizens' comments. Anybody like to speak? Second time. Jane? Third time there being none, public information closed. Katie, wouldn't you mind for motion to adjourn?
So moved.
In a second. Second. All in favor, say aye. Meeting's adjourned at 7:44. Thank you.
Please feel free to stay for cake.
I didn't see the cake.